What is everybody? Welcome to Truth and Transparency Sunday Night Live, the big live of the week, Sunday nights. Ooh. All right, give a shout out to everybody that has been working hard and together to get as much material from Moscow as possible. So, takes an army. All right, do me a favor. At some point, you're going to have an opinion about the video, whether you're watching it live or on replay. At some point, you're going to have an opinion. Make yourself known. Thumbs it up, thumbs it down. I will never tell you how to think. Here's just the information. All right. So, whoa. As you can see here, that vehicle is Jenna McClure arriving in the RAV there. And so this is like 12 and like 30 some seconds, 12 o'clock noon. And it's interesting that here, as you guys can see, it says no audio. I'm double checking as to see why there's no audio. Not sure if they just decided, hey, thank you. If they just decided, hey, we're not gonna, because it's like a privacy interest, we're not gonna give you the audio. Because of all the voices that you can hear from the people that are inside the house. But that just kind of doesn't make any sense due to the fact that, what about all the audio all the other times? So here at 12 and 35 seconds, that's Jenna McClure's vehicle. Now, for the purpose of this video here tonight, I'm going to point out some stuff. And not watch it all the way through. I have just different timestamps I want to point out and break down those. All right. So 12:02 and 30 seconds here. Vehicle coming up. As this vehicle is coming up, this vehicle actually pulls up over here, and the people in that vehicle actually stay in that vehicle. As you can see, no one gets out for an extended period of time. Now, a vehicle that is pulling back out and driving there, that white car there, I think actually, if Jules got, I know that multiple people got videos and put them out, she may have the audio, but I want to show when Snyder is walking around and all these dudes are walking around, that vehicle then would have been gone when we see the body cam and we're paying attention to the vehicles that we can see on the body cam. So the white car that pulls out and leaves there, it would have been then seen on the body cam of the officers when they're walking back. Significantly Snyder. Gunderson. I'm having a Christmas ale tonight. Cheers. Great Lakes Brewery. Cheers to you guys out of Cleveland, Ohio. You got to like put the cinnamon around the rim, get a frosted mug. Okay, as you can see, those people are still in the vehicle that just pulled up. I said they're going to be in that vehicle for an extended period of time. Now, Noonan's already went. Then there's Warner that pulled up. He went running. And this will then be Snyder, and then Gunderson comes. Okay. And so there's Snyder, canine officer. Then here's Gunderson. Now, vehicle then is going to attempt to pull away here that was just sitting there chilling. So over here to your left. And if you actually zoom in, you're going to see that somebody right there gets out of the car, finally walks away. So they were inside that car, I don't know, maybe making out with somebody. I don't know. But what you want to compare all of this to is every house that is right in that area. All these people were interviewed, not just that day, but then they came back and they had other interviews. And so you're going to compare what their interviews were, and what time did they say that they were coming and going, why they were supposedly coming at certain time, where they slept, where they didn't sleep. So they're being interviewed, and then here this tape that at the time potentially of the interview, not knowing that this was recording, maybe they do know that, but that this person right here having a camera that's running 24/7 regardless of movement, it more or less is going to get everything that's in its view, people wise. And I do believe that Ann Taylor had certain people on her witness list because of this. She specifically wanted other parts of the video that the police didn't even care about. She wanted them, and I think they were for reasons of to say if somebody was there, to say if somebody wasn't there, or who they're with, what they potentially have in their hands, things like that. So as we continue to scroll on by here, okay. Right there. This vehicle that pulls up right there, as you can see, that's not a Moscow police officer's vehicle. That's not what they look like. And so right there. So make note of that. Then 10. I want you to make note of all the cars that are in the driveway right here, because we're going to come back to that. This is where the staging happened with the ambulance and the EMT, so they're walking up. And so we got that. Now you see this person running? Not sure if he's part of the crew or what, but here. Next. Ugh. What the fuck is that? Now running away. Again, because of the staging, we have to do some. And now look here. Oh, return. So it's just a quick, like, where'd you go for literally 4 minutes? The white car. Do they leave again? We'll see. If there's something that's way better than any of that. Okay. Right there. We have a person that left being over from either Jack B's house or the neighboring house. See that person walking? Oh, there he is. It's Jack D. So that's him. Another 4-door sedan there. EMS / firefighter / they're all walking back. Remember, they staged over there on the corner of King and Taylor. But we're going to get to... right there. See that person peeking right there by the pole? Then they go back over. They're like, what's going on? They go and bring back blankets. Remember all that blanket talk? That's the blankets. We're going to break down more of who these people are, but I want to get to a specific point here. It's at like 12:15. Right there. Okay, here we go. Boom. Come on back, girl. Okay. Here it is. I'll slow this down. Playback speed. We're going to do it at half speed. Okay. Okay. Now, if you live there, you know that you have a camera. Okay. That's number one thing. This person knows that they have a camera at this house. And so I'm going to be leaving up out of this house. Right. So at first I thought to myself, oh, this is a person that went over to inform Jack D that like something's going on over there. Right. But then I was like, no, actually, Jack D already had gone over there. Right. So again, press play. So she knows that there's a camera. We can't like shut it off because that'd be obvious. So whatever I want to truly take out of this house and go put it somewhere else, I have to like carry something with me so that I can cover what I'm doing. Now let's play it actually at regular speed so that we broke that down. So now normal speed. She books it. Look at, books it. Gets down the stairs, takes off. And where does she go? And now this is what alerts like everybody. Like, so nobody's come out of this house, right? So it's not like somebody could have walked over to see what's going on next to them, or I mean, they could be looking out the window. What did they open up a? This is why I mean, did they open up a window? But they don't ever go outside and go to the right to see or ask any of those people that are standing outside, like, what the fuck's going on? Bolt. And then we saw to the left. Now watch this. After she leaves to go over and tell whatever she says, if she goes, because we cannot technically see if she went into Jack D's house or if she went to a couple houses down on the left to where there's girls that live there. But I personally believe that she went to Jack D's house. That's like it's only two houses because everybody and their mother, like you guys just saw how it was her. Everybody and their mother then comes out of from the left. Okay, here we go. Please watch from the left here. I'll zoom in. So here now she's coming back with somebody, not just one, but two. Then look at everybody's leaving from over there. One, two, three. Okay. And now she's coming back. What's going on here? These are the people that went to McDonald's. So remember people that were interviewed and they were talking about that they went to McDonald's that morning? One, two, three. Now wait for it. So in this day and age, okay? In this day and age, you guys, we have cell phones. Okay? We have cell phones. We have we can text, right? We can call somebody. If I just need to tell you something, oh my God, what the fuck? There's all these police here. You guys need to check. You guys need to get over here. There's all these police here, right? You would just call them. You would just text them if you want to like tell them about something, right? Why would you leave the house running, okay, with stuff in your hands, arms? Okay, the timestamp is 12:15. Okay, um, we're gonna. So my point is that if I just wanted to alert you to tell you, holy shit, there's all these cops over here, or like, what the hell's going on? You guys need to come over here, or like, hey, somebody wakes up and like they're like, oh, we're so and so and so and so. I don't know. They're probably at so and so's. I mean, whatever the. You're just gonna call them. You're just gonna tell them. This is seriously somebody. What it looks like to me is that you're running out and you're leaving. And what are you carrying? And why are you carrying anything to go? It seems like you're, whatever you ran out with, you had to cover it up, and then you're coming back because you were just, hey, we need to, whatever this is, I need to put it somewhere else. It's gonna, and it could have nothing to do with the murder at all. Okay, people do this shit all the time. People think about, oh my god, what if they come into my house? Like I have, alcohol, or I have fucking weed, or I have, I don't know, drug, whatever, right? But this is the first thing that you're thinking. But the question should be, is why would you ever think that anybody would be coming to your house? And they never come in. The police never come in. So I just find it very interesting. If you want me to believe that person just left and ran out of there with more or less like a blanket or a towel covering something, and then brings back two people with her, and brings what seems to be an extra white towel. I'll back it up. I've been zooming in, but it's when you, and then her, after she does this, then you get that house to flush. Then people start like walking out and like leaving. So let's back it up to when she runs out. Here she goes. So she has the gray blanket. So see how her hand's free, the right hand? Like nothing. She can carry this with one arm. And then as she's running, you can start to see that there is something white when she's running. But why is she coming back with those same two things? This is just not normal. I don't. And then I bring these two girls back over with me. And here, boom. Very bizarre. There's no vandal alert yet. This is 12:15. Nothing started with that. I mean, there was no 1:00. Like WTF, right? Now, again, we were watching, so we were able to get to the bottom of a couple things on the original videos that we did have. Remember when we're watching this vehicle and the vehicle behind it, like they're these two right here in the middle, they're not there. They are when we're watching the 1112 camera, and then you can see that they left, and I'm like, that's an interesting time to leave. But what's even more interesting is what ends up happening here, that whoever brings home a couple of these girls at 5:15 in the morning, okay, somebody brings these two girls home. So I have no idea when this car right here in the middle and when the red car, when those two cars get there. We haven't got to that point yet. But those cars left, and now we're going to get to the point that when did they ever come back there? So that's the first thing. This girl, 12:15, we have to run out of this house. I can't just call my friends and say, hey, you guys need to come over and see what's going on. I have to run out and have blankets or like towels. Like, what? Why? You didn't like take them to the people that were outside, like just all shivering. I don't know. And she doesn't alert Jack D. Okay, because that's what I thought happened originally is that these people here. So it wasn't those people. So Jack D was alerted from other people. All right, so then let's go to this. So that was the first, just like, what the fuck moment. You know what I mean? Like, wow, what is this person doing? Maybe they have a great explanation for that. I have no idea. Don't care. But there's got to be an explanation. I'm sure wouldn't she be asked, like, what were you doing? Now let's go to the nighttime. Let's go to the nighttime. And in the nighttime, let's go to, and as always, give a shout out to Christie's Chaos. Let's go with this one. And want to show, okay, here we go. Yeah, this is at 2:25 a.m. So this is after everybody would have been home in terms of, well, take that back. Ethan, Xana, we don't know yet, right? But you can see right here, there's a vehicle. You guys remember all the vehicles that were there? Well, there's no vehicle that's right behind this middle car. All right, so it's 2:25 and there's no middle vehicle. Now, you guys all hear that audio? Okay, so the question that I have is this the audio from people that would be actually inside this house? Okay, so think about it. Is it the audio that's of people inside the house? Okay. Everybody's forgetting the fact that everybody just wants to say and think about who's at that house over there or that house over there or this house over there or the one. What about the house that actually has the camera? Okay. How many vehicles are parked in this driveway right here? A lot. How many people are in that house right now? In the house that's like, that has the balcony here, 1112. So nobody's giving any like you have to say, guys, there could be people in this house that are talking. That's the first thing. You can hear male voices. Okay. You can hear female voices. And then you can hear, like, whether you want to say like screaming or whatever. But here in 10 seconds at 2:26 a.m., it begins the text messages and the phone calls from Kaylee to Jack D up until 2:53, 2:52. Okay, right here. Look at that blooming light. 226 and 16 seconds. Well, is this a vehicle that goes all the way to the back and actually loops around? So now we have a car. So if anybody's keeping track of like a spreadsheet here, you'd want to go and take a look at 226 and 16 seconds. This car is either one of the cars that takes a loop around, and you can actually see it because you see it on Land Lane, or is this a vehicle that does not make it all the way around? And it either veers off to the right and goes up like that way to park in the back, or it could park off to the side before it even gets back to the where the Land Lane cameras can catch you. And there's Mark B. I knew that I was waiting for him to write that. Exactly. It does not. So those of you guys that are paying attention, that vehicle right there at 226 and some change, it does not make that loop. So it could have either gone to the 1122 King Road house. It could have pulled off on the side right over there. But it definitely does not make the loop around. That's an interesting scream. Whatever that is right there. Listen to this. I don't know what that noise is. Okay, I have no idea what that noise is. I put together an email this afternoon. I have a lot of questions. My first question is what is this any enhancement? Like, was there anything done by anybody to enhance or mess with any of the audio? Okay, because I gotta be real with you guys. When we had one of our systems, we would be able to hear what we're saying, like totally, like not distorted in any type of capacity. So when we would like, I don't know, watch a clip or whatever, we're hearing. We would always joke because it's like, oh my god, when you're walking around the house and we're on the right side of the house back, our neighbor has a camera, and it's like, don't ever have conversations over there because the camera, the audio, you're going to be able to pick up everything that you're saying because we can do it on ours. Okay. Like if you want to be on the phone with the mistress, don't do it out in front where that camera that's to the left literally picks up everything that you're saying. There's not this distortion. It's not about what anybody did like that. I'm talking about the actual owner of the audio. This would be Moscow Police Department. This has nothing to do with anybody getting it from that point. This is what they've given out from day one. When we're even listening to it at 4:00 and 3:30 and like, what the hell? Like it's like these people are aliens. Exactly. I can hear Mama J. I can hear every single word my neighbors say on my security cameras, especially when they talk in certain areas, right? And so here, the capacity of what this camera does, and actually when you walk in front of it and it detects, it can switch into color mode. It's really interesting. So this doesn't make sense that the audio would be this distorted. It's truly bizarre. Okay, right there, 2:28 and 16 seconds. That car that's in the back, okay, driving in the back there, the Volante is going to come up. It clearly didn't come from this area, so it comes from somewhere. Um, so there you go, Mark. You have one of your answers there with one of the cars that is on Linda Lane that you can see from Taylor. 228 that goes nowhere near it coming in here, and it actually just wraps around and goes back straight to Walenta. Now I know for a fact that two of the people that live in this house, they don't get home until 5:16 in the morning. Like two of them for sure. Again, I don't know how many people are supposed to be in here at the time. Um, but at least two of them, two females. From my inner like investigation, it's all females that live there. And if they're like boyfriend or whatever would sleep over, but I have all females living here. And two of them, like I said, do not arrive until 16 a.m. All right, here we go. 2:29 and 8 seconds. That to me looks like some type of a minivan or SUV of some sort. So that's at 2:29 and 26 seconds. Now remember, the undercover cops, okay, between now and 2:53, what are they doing? 2:52, 2:51. Remember, according to the undercover cops, they would come back in here and make these loops and shit like that. Dude, none of this is true. None of this is true. Um, the Shark Tank house right in front of us, you can see through the windows, like people are walking around and shit. Um, now we're gonna speed it up until we like. That seemed like a honk, but all right. So think about this: 2:25 to 2:30, 2:27, 2:28. Like that 3 minute period, 2:25 to 2:28. Like how do these people just you hear those voices and then it just stops talking? So I'm gonna back up just to like 2:20. November 210. Dylan texts 213. He texts back. Okay. For Eric. Now we're going to go. Right there. Okay, so this is when I think Eric Grower brings somebody back. All right, so he pulls up right here. 236. Based on the interviews, Eric says he doesn't come back to the area. This is where I believe that Eric does come back to the area. And he's going to drop off his vehicle here, goes all the way back. And how this person leaves is that they back up to like then make a 3-point backwards turn to then like leave. And for me, this is the girls that went to the grub truck that live on the house to the left, right across the street from Jack Decor's house. It's those girls. And somehow they knew that, yeah, we took the same Uber ride that Keely and Maddie took home. They said this in their interviews when they were interviewed out in with the Idaho State Police on like the 17th, 18th, 19th of November when they were interviewed. So here, backing up like this, and then there you go. Okay. I don't know if those are barks right there. Right there. Right there, those two. Were those barks? Hear that? So now remember, at 2:53, Maddie calls Bethany at 2:53. Bethany never even mentions that. But she does mention that Bethany received a visitor who was Maddie coming to her door to say, hey, do you have Murphy? Okay. Hey, I can't find Murphy. Do you have Murphy? And then, so was that before or after calling at 2:53? I can tell you this, I don't hear any music. I don't hear somebody playing music. And so a couple of the interviews that we've read, there was like, music being played. Okay. I don't hear music. right there. What's that? That's a scream at 2:38:13 right here. Again, I never remember these girls had messaged the detectives in some way or some capacity, and we're talking about we saw a car, at this time and this time, so they were like looking at their app, something that looked like suspicious to them. Um, because what I thought suspicious is in the morning after that girl does what she does, and those two girls come back. After that, the people that leave, then there's people that actually go to the Shark Tank house, and then all of a sudden, two people come out of the Shark Tank house with two like big, huge bags, garbage bags, and they throw the garbage bags into the dumpsters. Um, the one that's over by, not this one that's closer, but the further one. 2:40 a.m. Right there. I mean, okay, the first question you would ask any of these people that lived in this house, okay, were you guys up at 2:50 in the morning, 2:40 in the morning? Were you guys screaming or anything? Like, wouldn't you want to get to the bottom of who these screams could be from? So you would start like eliminating things. Like nobody remembers hearing anything like this. I don't ever remember like screaming like that at college parties. You know, I remember just partying, screaming like that. This doesn't. It's just weird. Okay, so there's a car coming from Valenta here at 2:40, about to be 2:41. So I guess my next guess would be like, wouldn't they have done if they're going to be doing like test runs, right? Wouldn't you want to be like doing like testing to be where these sounds are coming from? So here we want to use this camera here, and let's go in the 1122 King Road house, and this camera's obviously rolling, and we're going to have all the doors closed, all the windows closed, and just if we're like just like this talking, or we're watching a show, or we're all upstairs talking in Kaylee's room. I mean, so do things in all these different rooms to see what sounds come about on the camera. Then go outside. Do different things to see what it then sounds like on the camera. Then go into like this house and see what it sounds like. I mean, they have this camera, so they would have all these other days to compare, and then go over down by where the Shark Tank house is, go over where the whites are. I'm sorry, but I think the whites is really far to be picking it up. But let's just see what the different sounds are. I mean, this to me, just if you want to know where these sounds are coming from, try to mimic them, even in the standpoint of just because I'm sorry, you're not going to be able to pick up a conversation that I'm having with somebody in my home on this if all the doors and windows are closed. I mean, how? That's insane. That's insanity to me. Um, I don't understand why you would want to do dog barking tests and not human tests. Especially when you're going to be putting like a thud and a thump was in this on this audio. I cannot believe that they put that in the probable cause. Heard a thud and then like a whimper. Are you kidding me? Well, what do you consider this? These aren't whimpers. Like that's just unbelievable. I don't think you should be using anything from it because you have no idea. Like I can't believe that house got torn down. Stop! 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 That's what I hear right there. I hear stop! 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 It just seems like people are like walking out, like either like they're like coming or going from something. They're just like woo, you know what I mean? Like you're just that's I don't know where like the stop 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 would come in. I remember keeping an eye on this time, 2:42 and 56 seconds. The reason I keep an eye on this time is because we have this interaction at 3:01. Um, well, 2:53 a.m. So like in like 9 minutes, it's going to take place right outside, in the band field. Um, I definitely aren't watching a game. It's 2:43 in the morning. Okay, what I believe that this sounds like from when you can hear like nothing and then it goes to like hearing like, whether it's screams or like people talking or whatever. I think it's people that would be coming and going, like the comings and the goings. So like you're not going to be able to hear when anything's going on inside, that house. It would be when people are, leaving, um, in between the time of like walking out the door, walking through the parking lot, walking across the street, and then going to those stairs that go down to then, you got the whites on the right and you're walking down the two little levels to get, and you're going to walk across. Like that's to me makes the most logical sense. Otherwise, it would be you'll be able to hear something all the time because people are talking in a house. I would agree with you on this until you go and watch how they party. They're weird. They try to scare each other. They like run around chasing each other. The stuff that they think is fun to do and like scare each other, what they do before they took it all down off of social media, these frats and sororities were always like fucking putting like knives behind each other and like being all creepy weird. So, and that's just what they do. I don't know why. I mean, it's really bizarre, but that's what they do. So the 12. Now, according to uh, right there, that 24812, that according to the undercovers is them because it was right before we went down. So it's wild though. He's saying that right before we stopped those people in the Banfield, that was we had made a loop. But the problem is that there is no loop that happens. And he said he went the same way, like around, just like the white car does later on. And now I know you should all know this that can't be the undercovers unless they had multiple vehicles working that night. You guys, if you're working a task force, okay, a task force is not two people. If you're doing some undercover drinking narcotic task force, okay, it's not just two people working. Sorry, it's just not a task force. Like, so I'm interested in who the 248 car is. You got some screams there because that 248 car does not go around. So like, where did that car go? Lottie Dottie passing them out. Okay, look at right there. Okay, see those people that are right across that they open up that door and they walk out. Now watch this. Let's go back to when the door opens. See that little? You can hear it. Let's back it all the way up here. You can hear the door kind of just close, and this would tell me this was so enhanced. This is the Shark Tank house. I'm gonna have to zoom in. Right, the door opens. Right there, door closed, and you could hear that. For this sound to pick that up the way that it did, this is so enhanced. Everything would be enhanced to be able to pick up that sound like that with that door. Because it literally, you can hear like that as that door's closing. Where's Josie at? Where's my girl Josie going and getting her phone out the car, realizing, oh shit. Remember now, there's a party going on at the Whites. Everybody has said that. There's a party at the Whites. And so, I mean, what the fuck is that? You know what I'm saying? Like 248 car, 250 here. It would just be really nice to compare the night before or like 5 nights in a row just to like hear how about the night that there's actually like a noise complaint and to hear what the mic on this thing would have sounded like back then. Um, to be able to compare that. I mean, to say that I just never, we partied our asses off. And I'm telling you, like, we were never screaming like that at part. I can, but there was a bunch of voices. I mean, why would you be screaming like that? Is that, I don't understand that type of scream, especially like at 3 o'clock in the morning. What's that? What's that noise? What the fuck is that noise? What is that? What like is that noise? This is, in my opinion, this is so insanely enhanced audio. I think that's why Aunt Taylor, when she was like, "Well, I got when what's his name Maori was over there talking about he was downloading stuff and stuff didn't have audio, but then he realized that it did, and he downloaded some more. There's three different downloads, or there's three different item numbers that say King Road Video, King Road Video. And it's not just the Andrew Fox one. There's three different times that there's King Road Video being entered as an item. So I need to see what item number and to go with the date of what was released so far. Okay, so basically there's an issue with the undercovers that would be Rosie and other homeboy. They didn't make any loops that they said that they did. Like, they're not on this. And you wrote it in your report, and it was on like the 15th or the 16th, and that you made these loops around. And in one of the loops, he's talking about seeing people with blonde hair walking. He didn't think there was any, we're supposed to be looking for alcohol, whatever. And they were walking into the house of 1122. Like, they were going up that driveway to go like into that house. And we saw no reason to like stop them or whatever. And he said that he couldn't be for certain, right? But he thought that that was on the loop right before he would have stopped the guys in the field. Okay. And I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about? They never made a loop, you guys. They didn't make any loops all fucking night. Unless you want to say that you're this other car. So like, how do you have that false memory that's just, it's so fresh in your mind? Like, on what you did, like, how do you fuck that up? You don't, in my opinion. This is why you're a cop. I want to know if we can get the infotainment center system. Can we get the infotainment system? Can we get the data on the fucking car, on the Fusion, whatever the hell they were driving? How much for a FOIA on that? That's it. We want all the data in your fucking car, because homeboy's telling us he's doing all this shit that they just did not do. So now at this point, 252, 49 seconds, they are in that lot. Like, they're in that lot. I just, what up, baby? Okay, so here, check this out. The people that left the Shark Tank house, we waited long enough. They did not clearly get into a vehicle over here to like pull out and leave. So the people in the Shark Tank house left the Shark Tank house and then walked over from the back, went the back into the back of the Jack D house. Okay. I want to see these people that were claiming in these reports when they're talking to the police that they were just walking and where's the dumpster guy? It just amazes me that we see nobody ever walking from like they all use the backyards to get to each other's houses. That's what this shows me. Like this video, you're not going to ever catch people really truly walking. Um, they're using the backyards. What, except once the police get there, then they all can be out in front. I don't know. Best 30 months ever. I've said like maybe 100 words tonight so far, and I haven't even said anything about surviving anything. Wow. The day I work at a job and don't remember what the fuck I did. Oh yeah, I was just looping around this house all night, 5 times. Oh, there's camera footage. Oh, I'm not looping. Oh, I wonder what I was doing then. I mean, how do you? Like, that's why you're hired as a cop. Maybe you shouldn't write reports 5 days late. You would know what the fuck you did. I mean, this is just blatant bullshit. So they're in Banfield over there. Sounds like a door to me. 2:57, 39 seconds. A door shuts. I still don't hear music. It's 3 a.m. Remember these people talking about music was still playing? Ain't over here. You guys, we've covered this case so long. When you when the cops are arriving for these noise complaints and there's music playing, before they know if the cops are there and the cops are walking up from because they park far away, you guys, we can hear the music blasting. Okay, that's not going on. I mean, we can't even hear just like a little bit. There's not. There's no party with music happening at 1122 King Road right now. Sorry, not happening. Okay, right there you can see. Here we go. We got somebody walking up. 3 a.m. She's doing a great job. They just all walk by themselves in this town. Maybe it's a boy. It looks like he's got food in his hand. Um, going to the Shark Tank. Let's hear when he opens up this door and closes it, what it sounds like. See? You hear that? Did you just hear that? This is so fucking enhanced. This is unbelievable. Listen to this. Open up. Closed. It's not loud. It's enhanced. This is ridiculously enhanced. This is distorted. Okay, so if you're going to be able to hear that like that, this should help. That right there should be the proof to be able to help with so much in this case, as far as if it's a door opening or closing, if you're hearing something like we just got to witness it. Homeboy walks up the street, so here he comes, walking up, la di da da. I mean, I bet you we would hear him fart if he walks up the steps. There you go. Fucking A, man. So maybe these noises people are farting. Okay. I mean, that is pretty interesting. Hear that noise? And see how we can't see anybody opening or closing a door? Somebody did, though. I want to see Molly walking aimlessly again. Hope we got something going on. See back over here on the house to the left? The headlights shine on the house up there. So that means the car is going to come around the corner here. Oh, there you go. It's probably Matt Moyer taking off to go to BW3s. All right, hold on one second. Let's check one more thing out here. At 2:53, 2:52, right here between 2:52, because this could be off a little bit. Maddie calls Bethany. So I'm going to start here at 2:51 and 53 seconds. Wait, a little more back. All right, here, 2:52. All right, let's go with 2:51. right. So that weird noise that I'm like, what the fuck was that? That's during the time frame basically, or like going to be right thereafter when Maddie decides to call Bethany. That weird noise. You guys know what I'm talking about? Right there, like that, whatever that enhancement is. It's very interesting. Right there. What was that thing that they said that they had for the dog? Like some zapper? Or like right there you can hear it's not a voice, you guys, it's like a device. It's something, it's not a voice. This is like a some type of like whistle. Anyways, moral of the story is that happens at 2:51 and 30 seconds or some change right here on this camera. Whatever the fuck it is. And then right after that, yeah, is when Maddie calls Bethany. They don't have an invisible fence. That's not what they had. Um, remember, they actually didn't put Murphy on like a leash. Murphy had some like thing that Kaylee would press. I don't know. It's definitely not DM's taser because it was out of batteries. But it's interesting to note that whatever this is led to Maddie called Bethany. And Bethany never mentions it to the police. In fact, what she says is, we took Murphy out. I was only out there for like 10 seconds. Then I grabbed something from the kitchen. Then I went downstairs. And then Maddie came to my room and asked me if I had Murphy because Murphy was missing. Well, not one single person comes anywhere walking anywhere around here to like be looking for a dog or anything like that. Not saying that they would have to walk this way, but okay. So then I want to go to three right there. 312. Here you go. Hey, Mark, on the body cam for the police body cam, what time does that truck go by? I just don't have my spreadsheet out if you're listening. Because this is going to be interesting right here. Okay, so this is the car that comes in. Back it all the way up to see exactly what this person does, which I think is suspicious. Okay, so we're going to back it up to show that this person does not come from. Okay, so it's 3:11 and 34 seconds. Or it's, yeah, 3:11, 39, 40. The truck is at 3:40, 46. All right, hang tight. We'll do that one in a second. Okay, who does this? Remember, I'm going to pull up like this. I'm going to reverse, leave my lights on, and just sit right here. Now, I would expect, hey, someone's getting a ride. They should be getting out of the car, right? 3:12 and 55 seconds. They did not come from behind Walenta. They came from Taylor. And this is the car that it's perfectly how, what's his name? How Jacob, when he gets into the car to like write the ticket, he like sits in a way to like fuck up the car so we can't see like, and it really messes with like catching that car. Anyways, clear as day, this car comes from Taylor and not Walenta. Backs up, sits right here. Now we should be seeing people getting out. If he's driving people off, let's see how long this takes. Okay, or okay, so here, these two right here, one, two, open up. Now remember when the two girls, I don't know if they're girls, guys, like I don't know, but they left the house and they didn't get into a car over here and like drive off. So I was like, they walked back behind and it looked like they went to a house. Well, let's watch. Door opens. So is this one of the sober drivers? Is it Grower? Is it Grower? I think it's him. Anyways, clearly like somebody's giving them a ride back. In my opinion, going over there to like Sororityville. All right, great. There they go. Now let's go to 3 o'clock. Okay. Okay, here we go. We got our answer. There it is. Back from behind Walenta. And 3 o'clock and there it is. So that vehicle does not come from back over. Okay. Just so you guys know, on all the interviews with Jack D coming home, he gets home at like, I don't know, 2:30. No, I'm sorry. 2, he left at, they get home at 1:56. I think he got home at like 2, like right after. So that's not on here. Anybody that's saying that Jack D got home and that we have a camera of it, no fucking way. How do I know that? Because the guy that actually gave him a ride, Peyton Rossi, that's why I put that interview out there. Peyton Rossi's interview was for the purpose of Jack D's timeline. He had the text message and said, "This is what time I was outside of the corner club." And so I picked him up and then got into the car and we left and came there. So at 1:56, when Keely and Maddie would have been pulling in with Eric, it's like something like after, like just a little bit after 2. Thank you there, Randy. So I would like to see, again, Peyton, that interview. That's really important for Jack D because that's the guy that picked up Jack D and dropped him off. Him and another guy. Now, the question that we can all start talking about is, when did Adam come home from working at the bar? Hey, Lana. Late getting in. Hope everyone is well. Thank you, Randy. Shousy's shocked. You've done some hella hard work on this. Thanks and never change. Your humor and bluntness are awesome. Thank you. Appreciate that. Alice, how are you? Thanks, Lana. Still at it. Fuck yeah. This audio is just really, really enhanced. Oh. Lottie Dottie, thanks again. 8 months. Bree. Whoever got a membership from Bree, that's who gave it to you. Where the 2 people from the house ran on the side of the house, you can see blurred people movement left top road. My daddy. Oh, thanks, Carson. Hitting goals, knocking down people. Outcast, not sure how you spell his name, ran it through his program to check, and he believes that they had redacted the audio before releasing the video to people. I can tell you that this is my eyes and ears for you to be able to hear what you hear and how you hear it on this camera for that door. That's fucking enhanced. Beep beep. I just heard beep beep. Okay, so 3:11. I want to see the time frame of. Wait. We can just start eliminating. Just because the file says redacted, just to help you guys out, that's going to be anything. It's redacted if they blurred anything. They're going to say redacted. I believe that we will see the FBI files. I believe that we will. I disagree because they were a branch of the investigation. This is a case that they're not going to be able to do that with. They didn't. If they weren't involved in the probable cause, sure, but that's just not the case. We're gonna get that. Hitler's just shitting his pants. That's what I think. Okay, here we go. All right. See right there? I wanted to pause it perfectly. Boom goes the color. Okay. Okay. You guys, on the witness list for the prosecution was the guy that built this house. Okay? The guy that literally built this house. I went and I grabbed all the pictures from the making of this house. He was literally on the prosecution witness list. The guy that built this house. It was wrecked down, or there was a little parcel, so they could be like, okay, we want to build a house right there. He was on the witness list. I'm like, what the fuck would he be on the witness list for? Okay. Go. Okay. Listen to these sounds. This is how close this is to the camera. $322. Opening up the door. Okay. Listen to when they get in the car and both doors are closed. Okay, both doors closed. Listen, you can hear them talk. Right, closed. You cannot hear shit after that door is closed. Run it back right here. They go on the left, door still open. There you go. Okay. Uh, I mean, I'm literally, we're proving this in real fucking time here. If you think for a second, that anything that we're hearing is from, in my opinion, from inside that house, I don't. They get into this car, they close it, they're talking from standing next to each other, about to get in. Then once one girl closes the door, but once the other girl closes the door, you cannot hear it, and they're still talking. Boom, it's done. Look at how close we are. You guys think that house, you're going to be able to just, all this noise is from that house inside the house? No. And it's important because when they're going to talk about that at 417 that you hear this and you hear that, and that's, dude, that great. It ain't coming from that house. Like, it would be from something that would be happening. Why wouldn't you think that it would be this house? Like, I mean, come on. And then the other thing that's weird, okay, if we run it back, can't hear anything, can't hear anything. These girls got to be getting close to the door here. Getting close to the door. Doors open. All the noise this camera is picking up is from fucking outside. Outside. Outside, in my opinion. Not from inside. Outside. Still open. Closed. Can't hear shit. And the reason that's super interesting is because I'd be arguing that what you were talking about, that you said that you're hearing between any noises that you'd be hearing, that you're going to try to attribute between 4:07 and 4:20, to coming inside that house at 4:17, we hear a thud and a whimper. Great. And that happened outside. That happened outside. There's no doubt in my mind now. This is why. Like, this would be how I would show that. Girls are talking right next to the car. They open up the car door, then they don't get in all the way, then they get in. They're talking. Once both doors are closed, you can't hear anything. And if they didn't stop talking, like, they're in the middle of sentences. And how I would just use that is that I don't, whatever you're hearing, they're just, it's how you're just assigning that to the, that's such speculation. It's not even funny. See, okay, right there. That's even another thing. They're on this whatever pavement. The car goes to like literally like turn the wheel and how it's like driving and what it's driving on. You can hear like the crinkles in that right there. All that. Did did she hit this other car by chance? I mean, that's one way to do it, to back out like that, I guess. But all of that noise right there, these are all outdoor noises. All outdoor noises. All enhanced as fuck. Yeah, the other thing I think is interesting is if why I think it's almost like unfair for the jury to hear anything. Like I would be arguing like that this is hearsay. Be like, dude, you just can't assume where this is coming from. And you can't assume what anybody is saying. Like that was my issue with the Delphi case. I really thought that that was bullshit. You know, nobody should be able to testify and say that this is what this person said, you know, on a recording that on the camera. It's that is so prejudicial because once I say a phrase, then that's going to be in the jury can make up their own mind. I don't think that anybody should ever have a right to say what somebody said on a recording that it's not you that said it. Like, what the fuck? Um, it isn't at the right part. What are you talking about? That music we hear at 3:48 was added and enhanced. What's up? They needed music at that time to corroborate Molly and Dylan saying there was music. I mean, I don't doubt any of that, but my point is that this video at these certain spots, like right here, you can see that this is the noises that you're hearing is from everything outside. So therefore, you're not going to attribute a goddamn thing noise wise to inside a house. How you could possibly get up on you wouldn't for them to say that in that probable cause affidavit now that you're like that's wild as fuck. Because then I think that they should be putting all through the probable cause affidavit that there was just nothing but straight screaming from all these other timestamps. Because then that would be exculpatory. Like, what? But I think that all these people noises, um, they come from people that are around this area outside though. And I think that even is more like it's 10 times more important than when you talk about the Molly situation. When she comes up to deliver this food, dude, when she arrives, it's like a party just fucking arose. It's not one person. You know, we see this guy walking up by himself before he goes into that Shark Tank house. He's by himself. No noises are being made. He just opens up the door and, you know, and goes in. Molly gets there, it's a goddamn party. Jesus. Yeah, that's Justin. And yeah, and it picks up the same sounds and movements because it's outdoor. It's an outdoor camera, in my opinion. It's picking up outdoor sounds, nothing inside. So to say that any of these sounds are coming from inside houses that are around there, I mean, then I want to hear when this house that actually has the camera go flush your toilet right now. Get in there and just scream, or fucking put on the TV or play some music. I want to hear what it sounds like for the cameras, and for nobody to have tested that. But I believe that they did because Ann Taylor, they did something because Ann Taylor had to give them the okay, and then they went over there to like supposedly fix the camera because, Maury just broke the fucker. It's kind of like the John O'Keefe situation, and then I want to know if the camera, if this gets moved slightly and it's twisted, it's going to move the angle. I just can't believe that they didn't. This just seems so easy to test and then to actually ask the maker of the product. If I'm Ann Taylor, like I want to know everything about this camera. I anytime you're going to have a camera in an area that's like this and it echoes, or I just want to like having them answer your questions. Like they're the ones that made the fucking camera, right? They're the ones that I don't understand. That's why it cracks me up that why we can't subpoena Apple ever to testify in court cases because they created stuff, but we have to play the guessing game by going and get Cellbrite and doing downloads and extractions and trying to figure out what everything means. It's really bizarre, but that hasn't changed. Never once have you in the history of criminal trials has there been an Apple expert. Why? Because they're never going to do that. They don't want to give away their trade. Wild. I would think that you know, well, the backyards would be outside, so I would agree with all these voices, people yelling and screaming or cheering, and all of this shit. It's people that are outside. These aren't people that are inside, and I would be stressing that. And so the noise that you say that you hear at 417, well, a sign that, it was originally this that by their logic, somebody running up and down the stairs at the 1122 King Road house would be creating noise. And it doesn't. Like we don't hear any thudding running up and down or somebody falling in Xana's room. I disagree. So when those girls were all interviewed the next day, the next morning, who raised their hand and said, "Well, we left at 3:30, and we didn't hear or see anything, and we left at 3:30." Not a single one of them. And then who in that little group raised their hand and says, "Well, we got home at like 5:15, we didn't see anything." You know what I mean? Like nobody. I just they were all just like we're not saying anything about anything. None of these people were actually, as far as I'm concerned, were interviewed, unless the FBI did it. Like, who are these people talking right now? 327. Where the fuck is Molly? Molly says that she made all these trips over there. Fuck you, Molly. Where are you? Fuck you, pay me. Molly, you son of a bitch. You're so full of shit, Molly. Molly, join the task force. You guys are all full of shit. Everybody's like, who the fuck is Molly? Yeah. Yes. Oh hell yeah, Molly's been one. Those dumbasses. Molly's dumb. Hear that noise? That's something opening or closing. Here we go. 3:30. Thanks for watching, Christy. We do appreciate you. Boom. Go check it out. All right, what do you guys think? Let's go to you guys really quick and we'll round this up. Molly, what the fuck? Lit as a tit, Lana. Don't hear yelling for. Yeah, I'm gonna do that tomorrow. I have 2 lives scheduled for tomorrow, and we're gonna go over the time period of 4:07 to 4:47, 4:50, 4:47. All the dog, barking past 4:30. So the big time I want to hone in here is from 4:30 to 4:47, because Murphy 100% barking, but I want to test. I think that there's another dog. Also, it's all outside, and Dylan's over here like the dog's moving away. I heard it and I thought like the dog was moving away, and that's why I thought like the dog was outside. If the backslider was closed, right, and somebody goes to like slide it and open it, according to this camera here, we should fucking hear the slider just sliding on over and then being left open, like, and we don't hear anything. The slider was left open, unless they think that no, they closed the slider, but then when they left, they just left it open. Lit as a tit. Fuck it all. No, don't leave. We want more Lana. You guys, what night was it? Was it Friday night? I did a fucking 9-hour live. I felt like maybe it was 19 hours. Holy sack. 2 dogs for sure. And the reason that there's 2 dogs is because the guy that comes home at 4:30, he says he gets home at 4:30 and they go and they find this guy. Where's the girl that comes back home from work to pet her cats? But anyways, the guy that comes home at 4:30 to get everybody to stop saying that, hey, this explorer that came, whatever. He parks, he goes into his apartment, and he gets his dog and goes and takes his dog for, a walk or whatever. And he thought it was like 4:45, 5 o'clock, something like that. And I'm like, yep. And that would be 2 dogs. It would be Murphy's barking, and then this other dog is barking. But the guy never, in his interview, he never talks about the fact that, oh yeah, when I was walking my dog, it's because the guy that was interviewed was so late. It was so long had passed. Are you going to remember oh yeah, that night, when you do the same thing all the time, oh wait, was it that night that, yeah, my dog was barking because they saw another dog? And so they're both barking at each other. You'd have to ask me that. If I do the same thing all the time, they're just going to all run into each other. I'm not going to remember, something would have to remind me that would be that night that happened. But they clearly were able to track down who the hell the person was that came home, or whatever person they got to say that they came home when they parked. And it's somebody that was in the frats, because he was at a frat house and he's like, I was playing video games over there. That's the way that I understood that interview. But it's blankety blank 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 did this and blank 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 we. The guy didn't say anything until January. Not necessarily, no. They just didn't interview him until then. Or they didn't write it up until then. The door from the car right in front of you. Yep. 2 dogs, 1 bark. That's what just Paul says. I just think that you can't, for a trial, If I'm Ann Taylor, I want all the sounds to stay, and um, I want to show how all those sounds are from outside. That none of those sounds are from inside people's homes. And I would start with, okay, start with the house where the camera is actually on the house. Like, can you hear any of those conversations that are happening inside that house? No, you can't. Can you? It's a really interesting argument when you think about it. Uh, I amen right there. Amen to that. It's wild that nobody called the cops barking for nearly an hour. Yeah, the dog starts barking and went all the way, and but now as clear as day to me, the reason that Bethany called Dylan is because of the dog. This other mumbo jumbo, and then her talking about, did you hear that? Did you see that firework? Did you see that sparkler? That fire. Like, she saw this light. You know, again, Bethany called and it was about the dog. Period. The PCA's all crap. Um, that's a good one. Can I locate him? Lana, can you please locate former Moscow Police Department Nate Rosedale? Locate him? I mean, what do you mean? I mean, locate him. I would just like to ask the cops what went into. Here's a question: what went into being able to determine the noises on the camera? Okay, what type of testing did you do? And Ann Taylor's over here, like, I have no reports of them doing any such thing. So I'm gonna object and sidebar and say, Your Honor, there is not a single report of them doing any testing for sound of where X, Y, and Z, whatever. The only thing that they ever did was to test the camera with the headlights and shit like that. So I'm not allowing anybody to be testifying to anything about where they think these sounds are coming from because I don't have a report on it. They didn't do it. Plus, it's hearsay. And you're speculating. You're totally speculating on where you think these sounds are coming from. None of us know where these sounds are coming from. And you would have to show like other days. I would have asked, they have like 13,000 videos from this thing. 13,000 videos. So you would go and you would look at these other days like during the weekend, and especially one of when this house is having a party. When they're having people over, this house is having people over. What does it sound like? What does it sound like when they're having people over? Nobody's on this patio. Like, they use this patio for stuff. You have to compare it. I still cannot believe that they will not put out the video showing when Kaylee and Maddie came home. And then if I hear one more time that video doesn't exist, then we have a huge fucking problem. What do you mean that video doesn't exist? The Gonsalveses saw it, okay? That video exists. That's how this was all confirmed for Olivia, who was doing a hell of a job, man. Just like I would expect anybody to be on it like that. I'm going to call... who are these people? Let me call them. Hey, can you send me the clip of that? So there's the clip, 156. He's pulling in. Then right after that, in a different vehicle from the other driver from the frat house taking Jack D home. I mean, why these are so coveted I mean, I've never heard of more bullshit in my life. How are these videos just so like, ooh, you can't have that? It just mind blows. Like, just, oop. But why can't we hear what it sounds like when Kaylee and Maddie get out of the car? Because we physically will know that, hey, that's them at 156. When they pull up and they actually get out of the car, let's hear what it sounds like. Let's hear what this happened right in front of supposedly the house. Let's hear what it sounds like when they get out, when a door closes and it's that close and where it was. I mean, let's hear these sounds. That's what they're preventing us from hearing, is how it would sound compared to then, other things that are happening on the videos and how they sound. Also, I think it'd be interesting to see how long Eric Grower stays in the area. He drops him off at 156. How long does he stay there for? So we'll see. We'll see what keeps pumping out, but I would love to hear what it sounds like when they get out of the car. And nobody's driving around. If they're walking around over there, they're using those stairs, like that cut through. So I think all that they mean by 2:00's the dark hours about the Chapins is that was when there was like a decision to be made. According to, if you read these reports, these interviews, that Ethan and Xana were at 2:00. That was the last time that they were over there at the Sigma Chi house. And so according to one of the people want to come out and try to say that, and it was Bethany or Dylan in an interview, or not an interview, but to the people that came to the hotel, talking about the fact that Ethan and or Dylan said that Xana and Ethan were home before Maddie and Kaylee got home. You guys do know that that's out there, right? That, can't remember if it was Dylan or Bethany, told one of the people that used to live in that house the previous year that Xana and Ethan were home actually before Maddie and Kaylee. That would mean that they would have been in that room. And all I would need to do is I just need to see pictures of what Ethan was wearing at the Sigma Chi house. That's all I need to see. Because there would be only one thing that would support that. Because of that girl going to the bathroom, that McComas girl going to the bathroom, when they got to the 1122 King Road house, she goes upstairs to the second level. She has to go to the bathroom right away. And so she goes to the bathroom, then she whips out her phone and she's making like a selfie video. And in that selfie video, according to the police, in the report, they're saying that when she made that video, that the timestamp was whatever the hell it was, and that there was the pants that were on the floor of the bathroom with the boxers in them, that they were already there. Okay. And I personally believe that had to have been from earlier, like way earlier, that Ethan would have changed before he went to that party, because there was an upload to Snapchat. There's a picture like 1:45, and then at 2, and Xana's in them, and they were uploaded to Snapchat from somebody else. But if Ethan's wearing, let's say jeans or sweats, I don't know. But I think that those khakis were from what he wore to go with his sister. And then he would have came home. He parks that Explorer. He changes and. But I also just think it's so weird to like leave your clothes right there. I don't know. But that's the only thing that supports that, is if there's a picture of Ethan at the Sigma Chi house, and if he has those khaki pants on, that's the only thing that would support that Ethan and Xana were back in that house before everybody else, and they were just in the bedroom and nobody knew about it. Again, I find that not believable, um, because the police were, if that would have panned out that way, then they would have been able to see pictures and saw what Ethan was wearing and nip that in the butt like that. So, but that McComas recording, again, I can never imagine going to the bathroom the first thing I'm doing is whipping out my phone and just fucking taking selfies while I have to go to the bathroom. Whatever. I could see me doing that like after, but even then, doing selfie videos in someone else's bathroom, fucking weird. So also with Snapchat, let's be real, you'd have to go and actually do another like check down to see if when the person, there's two people that said they saw them at the Sigma Chi house and still it was like 1:45 too. But then somebody also uploaded a Snapchat photo to like their story, and Xana was in it and in one of the apartment rooms of the Sigma Chi house. But we all know how that could work. If the picture was taken earlier and just not uploaded to the story yet, then when you went to your stories, depending on how some people operate, they will take a bunch of pictures, regular style, go into their Snapchat, then filter their pictures, and then upload like a bunch in a row at all like kind of at the same time. Which is just because I uploaded my story at that time does not mean that's when I technically took the picture. So, but the Cellbrite to that person's phone would tell you that. So if there's the person that saw Ethan and Xana, or rather uploaded that picture, you would want to get her phone and download that to check it out. I'm just saying that they're not. This should be secondhand, like nature to the FBI, or anybody that's been a detective for like fucking years. Um, uh, what would you need to redact on this video for an hour? How long would it take? Why wouldn't you just watch this? What does possibly need to be redacted on this? Okay, if all of these cars stay in the same spot, right? We're redacting license plates. Great. Okay, they all stay right there. I mean, awesome. But to watch this, to then anytime that you think you see a person, we have to put a little blurb over them. No, you don't. There is no expectation of privacy. If somebody has a balcony camera at their house, and in Idaho, you're walking on a public street or anything like that, I'm sorry, you do not have an expectation of privacy. So when I just get these responses about this privacy as being the reason, how? Because then I think that all of the sounds, we all have a right to privacy. So why can this camera be out there with any audio? The fuck? I just you. I also want to know how a camera like this, or even like a Ring camera period that records you, how are those legal in Massachusetts without it being the wiretapping laws? Has anybody ever thought about that? The wiretapping laws in Massachusetts are fucking, look them up, man. Um, so I'll also tell you this: if you go and you listen from 4:07 or 8 until 4:19, there's no screaming, right? None. No screaming. None. But yet at all these other times, there's all this screaming, and it's just due to like playing drinking game or going outside or whatever. You know how you get scared, like a jump scare? You guys know what a jump scare is? You're not expecting something and whoop, like outside public is not inside private. No, well, exactly. Exactly. There's no expectation of privacy if you're walking on that street right there that we see. Why are you blurring that person? Why are you blurring that image? There is no expectation of privacy. None. Absolutely none. But if there's no screaming that from during that time period, but all these other time periods have tons of screaming and whatever, even if you're partying for a game, playing a stupid drinking game, and it's happening over there at the Whites, or it's happening, um, what Shark Tank House. I mean, I don't. So then we get to the part of Dylan having a jump scare. How does Dylan not have the jump scare to the point that you weren't expecting to see a man with a mask on, right? To the point that you don't scream. Did I ever tell you guys a story? I was watching. I was at my old back in the day, my old apartment complex that like they all kind of look the same, and it was like 9 o'clock at night, not that late at all. But I was watching, of all things, one of the disappeared from the ID channel. Um, and it was me and my roommate, and we're on the couch. Okay. Well, the apartment door to come into the apartment wasn't locked yet. And so all of a sudden we're watching this, and fucking door opens up, and a dude just comes right on in. Okay. My roommate was like, like that. And I'm just like this. What the fuck? Who are you? Like, what the fuck are you doing? But other person screamed bloody murder, like, because it was just like, and he's like, oh my God, I think I'm in the wrong apartment. I'm so sorry. Like, just hammered, fucking hammered. And I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck just happened there? Like, just couldn't even believe that something. So here, like, they had already started screaming. And so, like, I was just like, what the fuck are you like? And I immediately was just like, what the fuck are you doing? Who is this? And I just kind of couldn't believe it. But also, roommate screams, and you go like this. And I was just like, what the fuck? So they're already screaming bloody murder because somebody just walks in. So if you're Dylan, you don't get that jump scare when some like, it's like I felt like I couldn't even have the jump scare because this person already beat me to the jump scare. But Dylan didn't have a jump scare. Like, what the fuck? Needless to say, got up, locked the door, went over to the fucking all the windows, looked around. Okay. Saw that, yeah, homie just needed to go a little bit further to go where he was going. I didn't just say, oh, let's just continue watching more Murray, the missing, okay, or the McStay case, the missing. I like made sure that this person was accounted for, like that just walked into my apartment. Like, who the fuck is this, you know? And he went into another apartment, and so he was accounted for, right? I didn't just like nothing. Like, okay, I guess just do nothing. I don't understand that. I don't understand how seeing a masked man in your house and then you telling somebody about it, like a Bethany. After Bethany is the reason that Bethany did the calling, and that's why I think Bethany thought she was full of shit, because it's like, but then the dog continues to bark, continues to bark, continues to bark. How are you broads going to bed when a dog is literally just barking and will not stop? Nobody can just go to bed. But then the dog just stops. And what, just goes upstairs and lays on Kaylee's bed? The dog didn't even move when the police go in there. So I don't know. I just think that they must have had some really whack shit like parties that just people with masks and people just or you just don't believe, or you think, or Bethany thinks that Dylan is a pathological liar, and I'm not going to believe a word she says, because if she would have seen that before I called her, then why isn't she telling me about it, or why isn't she doing anything? It makes absolutely no sense, their order. The order could never be that Bethany calls Dylan first, but Dylan, according to the police and what she's telling them, that's why her story was always like, I called Bethany. The fuck you did? No, you didn't. Bethany called you and alerted you to the dog barking. Hey, do you hear the dog? Why is the dog barking? What's going on? Oh, I don't know. Let me see. And then that's just when I think she goes out, walks around, calling everybody, you know, no one's answering, but she like, then she goes into like their rooms, and that's just when I think it was what the fuck, and texting and saying like that something isn't right. And they go and they search for things. That's their MO. Like, they've done it in the past. And then seeing all these people up in at that time, it's not like it's like I'm shocked that they didn't call their friends to come over like at 4 or 4:30 in the morning. There's people up all over at 4. It's college. I know I'd be calling them over if I would have left. I would have gotten that car and sped away. Why were they interested in any of these people's infotainment centers? Because whose did they think was the speeding away car at 4:20? It blows my mind why you want the infotainment centers of the victims' cars. Bethany and Dylan didn't have a car. The 4 people there are dead that have cars. Why do you care about their infotainment centers? You didn't use their phones to label the time of the crime based off a phone's not moving. You don't talk about anything to do with the victims' movements, as in like with the Karen Reed case, John O'Keefe didn't move after this time. His phone, didn't move. None of that. Not a single victim. Their phones were not used in any capacity to talk about steps on those cell phones. Why? Very bizarre. I would have got the fuck up out of there. I would have grabbed keys, got in someone's car, and drove off. But Hitler says, no, why would they ever do that? If they saw the killer went outside, why would they go outside? That's his logic. And I'm like, have you never seen a scary movie? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But no, Hitler's logic is that the killer just went out that way. Why would they go outside if the killer just went outside? And I'm over here thinking, how do I only think that there's just one person? I would be like, there could potentially be way more than one person. Um, but according to Dylan, she's like, I could never think that we would get robbed or any like nothing like this would ever happen. Like, why would I ever think that? You know? And it's just like, well, I don't know. Your house has been doors left wide open. Like somebody was telling somebody that they, ever since they moved in, they were on that first level, that it sucked and they were scared and it was all eerie. And I mean, I don't know. You see Xana's just on the floor. And if you actually go back and listen to what Dylan says, I just personally think that when Bethany called her, she's over there thinking about what happened earlier. Like, well, what happened earlier, because it was about Murphy. And that's why she's talking about, well, I don't know, Kaylee brought up Murphy earlier. I heard Murphy, so but that'd be like way earlier. It's like at 3 a.m. How come in Dylan's story she doesn't say that Bethany called her? Yeah, Bethany calls me and is asking me about the dog barking. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'll call them, or, I don't know what's going on. I'm a very logical person, but I'm also understanding of like fucked up like situations. And makes no sense. Dylan's story makes no sense with Bethany calling her first. Period. And that's why Bethany has the exculpatory, which is I called Dylan and alerted Dylan. So it wasn't that Dylan got alerted because she heard somebody say, I think there's somebody here, and then run downstairs. Like all of that shit. And I think Dylan was trying to get herself out of some stuff and walking kind of stuff back by saying, I don't know if this is real or if this is all in my head. It's because that's why I think that Bethany was just like, dude, you're an inserter. You're just dramatic. You're always, exaggerating stories and just making shit up. Like, fuck you. There's a masked man. Once you got to my room telling me about that, whatever. But none of them call, especially Bethany. Bethany doesn't call anybody in the morning. Dylan only called or texted Maddie and Kaylee. But depending on whose phones were dead at that point, it was still showing it was still showing her cell bright. Because if your phone's dead, your cell bright's not going to show like somebody's calling you. You have to get that from the other person's phone. Because if my phone's dead and it's off, it doesn't get that. Now, once my phone would be turned back on and you left a bunch of messages, voicemails, those would all come in at the same time at the end, whatever time I turn my phone on. Trying to think what else how you could use cell bright to figure that out. Yeah. Did Dylan not hear Xana's phone ringing 10 feet away from her? I will say this. I don't have my phone on ring ever. Very, very fucking rarely. It's always on like vibrate or so. But I'll tell you this. We all know what it sounds like when you have a phone on like a table and it's vibrating. Like you're going to hear that. So, all right. There was, and then Dylan saving a number at 3:51. Wait for my documentary to come out and I'm going to tell you how this all played out. Dylan's 3:51 saving or I should say, she's making an entry into her phone and saving making a contact. So she's adding a contact. There's one of two ways to do that. Let's say that somebody calls you, or you call them, or you text somebody, or you text them, or they text you, and you have their number already because somebody had texted you. You could then go and it would just say like save contact, or you could manually enter in all of that shit. That's what that is. And in a 2022 dump and download full file, fuck, you're going to know everything. You're going to know the number, if it was entered in, if it was saved due to like it already being texted, and that you were like texting with this person and then you saved it from that path. You'd be able to tell if you saved it like you can tell on your phone the order that you saved your contacts, if they were all synced, when they were synced, the date, all that type of shit. But on that night, yeah, 3:51 a.m. 3:51 a.m. Actually, let's take a look. We have this up really quick. 3:51. This is at 3:51. Oh, we're gonna have to do the different one. I think we have that though. Go back and listen to all the sounds that are going on at 3:51 while she's saving a contact. That's like telling me, like, you want me to believe the butt dials with the Alberts? No, absolutely not. I'm allowed to infer things. And at 3:51, if you're saving a contact to your phone, I'm going to infer, number one, that you are awake. Okay, the person, that's a manual entry. Okay, and if you have a password on your phone to password protect, it means that somebody had to enter in the password. So I want to know, did they enter in the passcode, or did you press a thumb? It'll tell you how you opened it. So how did you do that? Did you put in a passcode, or did you thumb it? That's the first thing it'll tell you. Then you manually go to save it. I'm going to say, yeah, you're not sleeping. Okay. So, and she never said that she was until she talked to Vicky Gooch. And remember, Blaker's over there telling Dylan, or Bethany, why won't Dylan talk to me? And I think that was he was just saying that shit. But anyways, we can go round and round and round. But Ann Taylor has never steered us wrong on she's never made a claim that wasn't there. So she was telling the state that your guys' timeline that you're going off of is because, okay, hey, look at these text messages. Look at these text messages. Well, and then it happened, like, basically everything's happening in real time as it's happening. They're texting each other. Well, if that's the case, then why didn't a single detective ask that question? Why didn't anybody break down, seriously, sit down and break down Dylan's text messages about, like, at this point, had you seen the masked man yet? And they kind of do it a little bit, and they ask her, well, from the moment that the guy got in, or Keely saying that there's someone here, to the time that you saw the masked man, how long do you think had passed? And she's like, 10 or 20 minutes. 10 or 20 minutes. Right there, you're fucked if you're the state. Because this supposedly needed to happen all within the tightest little time. And then when she's talking about that, she never was talking about opening and closing the door 3 times. That was added on. She always said that she was awake, and that when she saw that Kaylee was going to bed, she was going to bed. And that's why I believe she really went to bed immediately after this whole thing happened. They spend that one night in the hotel, but then they all leave. She goes to Boise. Bethany goes like the next day. And immediately when she got to Boise, what happens with your phone is she immediately then crosses over the time zone change. And so that means every time she's looking at her phone to like try to figure shit out, she's looking at it and it's actually giving her the time that it would have been in if she was in Boise. So when you actually look at it like that, if she was using everything that she was doing to come up with like her own timeline, which I would recommend that everybody would do to try to figure out what the fuck is going on, especially if your mom's asking you questions like, what the hell is going on? What the hell happened? How did this happen? What were you doing? If you're using your phone to try to recreate this, you're going to be off that hour. And that's why I believe she was off that hour. And it was because, and I think then when she realized it was in that interview with Vicky Gooch. And right there, they should have cleared that up immediately. Because it's really, really important. it would make a lot of sense that at 2:52, which Kaylee and Maddie are, going to sleep upstairs. Okay, so I'm going to go to sleep, right? If she's looking at her phone and she's thinking over here, she saved the number at 3:51, but when she would have been looking in Boise, it would have been all off. It would have been, everything was like, it would have actually shown that she saved that at 4:51. It would have fucked her all up. It would have, but ready for this, she doesn't know that. So that one you could never even see because that would have been only to be able to be seen on a Cellbrite. So she would have no idea when she did that, because that's only going to be able to be seen once you download your phone, which she didn't have the capability to do that. So she wouldn't have been able to use that. So let's use a different example, which would have been texting Eric Grower. Okay. She was telling them, she's like, oh, well, at 3:10, I texted him. She's like, oh, I thought it was, earlier than that. And she wasn't wrong. But then she's realizing, she realizes it during her interview, and she's like, wait, that means this all is off. My whole timeline's off an hour. Because she actually texted him at 2:10. You know what's fucking crazy, though? Is that these detectives just sat there and let this girl get all, confused? Or just let this all be a big fucking mess? But at the end of the day, I would just say, okay, let's forget about the times for a second. You remember going to bed, and you decide that you were going to go to bed because Kaylee was going to bed with the dog, right? Okay. Boom. So that's way earlier, which is, I'm going to say 2:45, going upstairs. She's calling Jack D, whatever, goes up there with Murphy, 2:45. And so you go in your room, and you're going to bed because she's going to bed. Great. Awesome. Then you hear somebody say, there's someone here. And how long was that after she went up to her bed? So that would have all happened at like 3. And then think about this. All of that truly does happen with what she's saying. And then she's just like, I just went in my room and I just locked the door or whatever. And does nothing. And thinks nothing. Then Bethany calls her at for whatever because the dog is fucking going crazy. And then that's when I think that she then tells her, oh my God, okay, oh my God, earlier, this. Acting like, because she's texting her this, well, this is what she's just texting her what the fuck has happened earlier, not right there. Because she can, and that's why she never refers to it like that. Because think about it. You would have said that immediately. You would have said, I was texting with her when it happened. She never does because she wasn't. She texted after the fact to tell her about it, and that's why they're both saying, well, what was said on the phone call? Because that 46 seconds is everything. What was said on that phone call? And then it was all, I just can't imagine that you see your roommate lying on the floor of her room. It doesn't make any sense why she wouldn't have gone over there. What is there to be scared of? Somebody with a mask on just came from over there, and your roommate's on the floor. And then if every light's on in that motherfucker, come on, man. I don't know. But then she's saying that I wasn't scared. And that's what I don't understand. Victoria Gooch not saying, yeah, you were scared because you keep saying that you're freaked out, man. I'm freaked out. I'm freaked out. I'm freaked out. Well, come down here. Come down here. Yeah, I'm so freaked out. I'm so freaked out. But nothing bad ever happens in Moscow. So, we didn't think anything of it. And I didn't go into her. I just went down to Bethany's room because, I knew that she was, she had answered. That's why I went there. And I just didn't go. I just figured she was passed out drunk. What? Okay. Ethan has spent every single night there. So if Xana was there, you would know that Ethan's there. If he has spent literally every single night there and never stays at his apartment. Yeah, we've been saying this for a long time. You would definitely, that's the most annoying sound. If when my neighbor's dog barks for 5 minutes, I get pissed. And that happens at midnight. I'm like, God damn it, get the fuck up out of bed, you lazy ass, and fucking handle your goddamn dog. Okay? If I was one of those crazy neighbors, I could call on that probably broad all the time. And I'm always like, what the fuck is she doing? What are these dogs barking? They're barking for something. And the next morning I see on the HOA page, somebody's car is getting broken into. I'm like, well, that's what the fucking dog was barking about. Jesus Christ. I'm like, well, there it is. This case, the things that make you go, These investigators should have been like, you guys, do we believe these broads or not? Do we really think that they saw this, or what do you think? All right, guys. Adios. We'll be back tomorrow. There's so many good things that we need to be watching. I mean, all the stuff with Luigi Mangione, with all of what happened in Pennsylvania, Altoona, Pennsylvania. The people in that McDonald's. Have you guys listened to that call? I cannot believe that multiple people said, "Hey, that's the dude from that's the guy from the shooting." that to me is all a little weird. Just going into doing all of this stuff without a search warrant. Like, got into everything. Things making home. Oh, have you guys watched the P. Diddy? Go watch the P. Diddy case. 50 Cent, blew it out the wall. Whoa. Go check out that documentary. What else? Yep, join me back here tomorrow. We're going to break down some of these interviews that were from the neighborhood. This house, we're going to talk about that. 5:15 coming back home, leaving at this time, coming, and there's 2 cars that have to fill the spot. Not just one, but 2 cars come back. So I want to know. We'll talk about it. Yeah. I think people need to watch it, though. Do you know what his body count is, man? You want to talk about a body count? Diddy's body count? I totally did not even remember the fact that when they bum rushed the doors, 9 people died. I forgot all about that. Over a $12 or $14 ticket to go in. You guys go watch that. It's called Sean Combs, The Resurrection, or what was it? The Reckoning. Sean Combs, The Reckoning. P. Diddy got one of the best producers to do that. He wanted a specific person who he got. He got fucking... Dude, P. Diddy had somebody recording him leading up to the day that he was getting arrested. They were in New York. And this person, he's got conversations with his attorney. Okay? Like, how P. Diddy managed to get these tapes. Dude, give him props. But in my opinion, Sean Combs is the definition of somebody that is literally, no doubt about it, has cops on payroll. And if you got in his way, he eliminated you. Tupac, Biggie, fucking dudes just getting shot left and right. But I'm like, how's this motherfucker just keep skating? Well, there's one thing that if you work with the Bloods and the Crips, they live by the code, man. They don't tell on each other. Keefe D's murder trial's coming up. I think it's, well, when I say coming up, anything that's within a year is coming up. There's going to be a lot of stuff. How about the guy that got shot in the recording studio? His name is G. To this day, nobody even knows who this person is. They got taken away in an ambulance, and they made it seem like the shooting happened outside of the recording studio, but it really happened in the bathroom. And it was Justin, and it was P. Diddy, and you guys need to watch this. But how do we not know who the guy in the ambulance was that was taken away, that was shot? How is there no records of this? Like, how does this happen? It's crazy. It's crazy. But then if you watch this documentary, what's interesting is that P. Diddy is all about, like, listen, guys, we need to start taking over, like, TikTok, Instagram, all these social media platforms. We need to do a huge PR campaign to be able to sway and swing everything that's going to be happening before the trial, during the trial. You need to listen to that part too. It's really interesting. I'm working on a couple pieces myself. And if you guys remember, the Karen Reed case happened before the P. Diddy federal case. And pay attention to some of the stuff that's in there. Very, very educational. I can't. They had 2 jurors on there. You guys need to listen to what these jurors are saying. These jurors didn't believe. Kid Cudi goes in there. Capricorn goes in there and says, P. Diddy kidnapped me, came picked me up with a gun, took me to fucking Kid Cudi's house. We are looking for him. He's going to murder him. He's like, I'm going to kill this motherfucker. Because he fucked Cassie. Okay? And this juror comes out and says, I didn't believe any of that. And I'm like, what? How can you just say that you don't believe this? I thought it was ridiculous. He blew his car up, motherfucker. We went there with he came pick. What? What are you talking about? Like, the prosecution has brought me in here because it's like, and I'm thinking, how could they not prove that? Can't we use any phones to show the locations and where they were before that? Like, who testified? Where's the experts to talk about phone data? Where was Capricorn at? And then she just gets picked up and then they go straight to what do you think they went there for? He went there he went there to kill motherfucker. This juror's it was just not believable. And I'm like, not believable. I died. And I'm just like, okay, not believable. What else did the one girl say? Oh, I was like, just not believable. That's just not believable. Anyways, P. Diddy, he got sentenced to 50 months. 50 months of prison time. Okay? 50 months. So the jury still found him guilty of something, right? P. Diddy just didn't walk. All right? 50 months. 50. So. P. Diddy's game was just, hey, get dirt on people, and but we're gonna drug them to do it if they're not gonna take it up the ass. He was turning out black guys, recording them who were not gay, and then basically using that as blackmail. I know you ain't gonna say shit. Then was doing it to females, drugging them, doing whatever, and then playing these videos at parties. That's insanity. That's an absolute fucking insane. Right? And I give so much props to the people that came out and spoke in that documentary. It was very, very well done. And it's so true. The one guy, God, this guy Curry that was just busting him up. He's like, what guy puts himself in every fucking buddy else's video? Okay, guy can't sing, guy can't dance. But yet here he is in all these videos. And then I went back and thought about it all. I'm like, you know what? He's right. He put himself in all these videos. He's in everybody's video. Then to hear about the fact that he took the cover from what was it? From one of his dudes. You got to just go watch it's a really, really good documentary. But Tupac was the man. The motherfuckers were so jealous of him. You know who wasn't in the video though? Nobody's ever really gotten Mace to talk. Mace got the fuck out and was like, I'm going to see Jesus Christ, man. I'm gonna go Yeah. If anybody could ever get Mace to talk, I'd love to hear what Mace has to say. But Tupac all day. Nobody's gonna take Tupac. Tupac was just the man. Oh yeah. Did you? I hate that I love Jodeci and Mary. Oh right. Did you listen to all? Dude, you guys got to go watch this. It's really interesting, and it's really interesting to hear how P Diddy grew up, like in terms of like his mom throwing those parties and um yeah. He was next level. He was also the reason he was next level is because he was just so smart beyond anybody. But he was doing things politically, and people didn't like that. You know, they're like, And then in the documentary, Puff Daddy, P Diddy, whatever he wants to call himself, he keeps repeating the fact that he's like, God told me not to do anything. You know, God told me not to do anything right now. You guys, need, come on, figure it out. It's, in terms of like PRing him and like none of this is true. Like the media is just trying to, but God told me like not to do anything. And Bella goes, you know who he's talking about, right? It ain't Jesus Christ, God. And then sure as shit, the next person to walk onto the screen was Davis. That's P. Diddy's God right there. We believe that Davis told him, fucking shut up, don't say anything, don't do anything. So, anyways, go after his ass. P. Diddy didn't just get he just didn't land where he landed for no reason. On the next one, we'll catch you guys. Peace out. Yeah, that nasty old man right there. Clyde don't play, but that's who I believe that God was. All right, guys. Love you. Thank you so much. Thumbs up, thumbs down. You have an opinion, make yourself known.